Hey there guys, this is Reckles with WTBGold, and today we're talking about some news topics y'all have been asking me about, so I figured since they are gold-making news topics, we'd cover them in a video. The first one is some exploits that happened that some people got banned for, and then we'll cover the 20% auction house fee coming up soon to an auction house near you. Now, for the exploit, pretty much what happened was you can mark quests as incomplete, and when you do that with a world quest, you could finish the world quest, get the loot, get the rewards, get the rep, get the artifact power, and then, because the quest was marked as incomplete, it would still be there and you could do it again. You just keep spamming it until, people got full Titan Forge 355 gear and maxed out all of their reps to Exalted and got Infinity Gold on day one. Those people have since been banned. Perma-ban went out for a whole bunch of people who took advantage of this. And I don't want to say rightfully so, because honestly, I think that the best course of action for this would be like a 3-day ban, reset all their rep and all their gear to 0, maybe like take away all their gold. I don't know, whatever. But I think a permaban is a little much. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What you think should happen to someone who does this. Is this fair? So next, let's spend the rest of this time talking about the 20% auction house deposit. I'm gonna talk for a little bit about this because I have a lot to say. Pretty much everything is wrong. This is 100% bad decision, in my opinion. And honestly, I put this on par with Garrison's for the worst decision Blizzard's ever made. Like, it's the kind of thing that sounds good on paper. Like, oh yeah, let's give people player housing. But when anyone who has any experience in the game stops and thinks like, oh, wait a second, we want players in an MMO to be completely isolated for an entire expansion, you stop and think, what the hell are they thinking? And you're amazed that a company with 4,000 people is able to push an idea this bad through. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I get a little passionate about this because I don't understand why they're doing this. Everything is wrong. Okay, so what is it? For crafting materials, from now on, you have to spend 20% of your per item listing price as an additional auction house fee, and that fee is refundable only if the item sells. Okay? So the way, let's look at an example. If you are trying to post 200 storm silver ore up on the auction house for 50 gold apiece, you can post it in 2 stacks of 100. Since you're selling these at 50 gold apiece, 20% of 50 is 10 gold, so each stack is going to cost you an additional 10 gold. Alternatively, you could post these up as 200 stacks of 1, and those stacks of 1 would also cost you 10 gold apiece. The reason why they're doing this, according to community manager Ythisens, is because one thing we've identified as particularly troublesome is a large volume of trade skill materials being auctioned off in stacks of 1. Some add-ons make posting quantities of this size trivial to do, resulting in dozens, if not hundreds, of pages of auctions for a single item. All right, so the reason why I'm so mad at this is because everything is wrong with this decision. We'll start off with just stacks of 1. Stacks of 1 are valuable. If you are doing Mythic Plus, you don't need 4 stacks of flask. You don't need 200 stacks of flasks. You just need 1. If you have 19 anchor weed and you need them to make XYZ, then you just want to buy 1 to get your 20 anchor weed. Different ranks, different crafts require different amount of materials, so singles help fill in those gaps. Varying stack sizes, having some in stacks of 1, some in stacks of 5, some in stacks of 100 is a good thing. But here's the thing that I actually kind of take offense at, is because they're blaming gold makers for this. Some add-ons make posting quantities of this size trivial to do so. No. Here's what add-ons do. Let's look at my Spirit of Harmony thing. If I post Spirits of Harmony, I have it in a separate group. I have to plan this out ahead of time. And so I separate out my Spirits of Harmony into my Elementals group, and I assign different operations to that. So I'm posting 10 stacks of 5, 10 stacks of 20, and 10 stacks of 200. And I've decided to only undercut similar stack sizes, so I'm spread out. I'm hedged among the price of the market, and because I'm posting in different stack sizes, I'm using the basic intro to econ price discrimination to more efficiently supply the auction house with what it needs. Now, let's see how trivial it is to do this with the default UI. You go in, I don't want to post in large stacks because that's too expensive for the average person, so I'm going to post in, I don't know, stacks of 1, and I'm going to hit all. Stack size all. And look at that, 3,000 Spirits of Harmony going up on the auction house. That was so not trivial to do so. The problem, the auction house sucks. The auction house hasn't been changed in the past 14 years, and it's just mind-bogglingly bad. Everything about it. If I wanted to post this, first of all, I can't see what my competition's price is in the auction house tab. I have to go back to the search tab and look through. And until this week, the auctions have been sorted by total price. And it was total bid price, too. Why does bid still exist? This isn't eBay. That bid price is just clutter. I get it that the auction house was started when eBay was just growing, and you're like, oh, cool, let's make it like eBay. Bid price doesn't matter. Get rid of it. The auctions were sorted by the total price. So if you had 5 Storm Silver up for 50 gold apiece, you would see that auction was worth 250 gold. And if someone posted a whole bunch of Storm Silver singles for 249 gold, they would appear first. So you were incentivized to post in stacks of 1. The auction house default UI is the reason why this happens. No other auction house or exchange in any other MMO works this way. You don't see individual stacks for every item. You see that this person posted 200 stacks of 1 for this amount, and that's all you see. And then you move on, and it's easy to read, and you don't have the inconvenience. What is large volume of hundreds of auctions? We don't need to change this behavior. Just change the auction house and your problem will be fixed. Jesus! So that doesn't explain really why I think that 20% refundable deposit is bad in and of itself. So let's talk about that. A 20% deposit on sale price means that an item that you farm up that's normally just 100% profitable is only profitable if the auction doesn't expire 5 times. So right off the bat, this means you cannot flip reagents anymore. It's not worth the risk. This assumes everyone understands prices, that we have constant sale prices and equal competition for every item on every server, and this isn't the case. Nether Dragon Scales, for example, are about 1,000 gold. Midnight Salmon is about 1,000 gold. One requires more reposts. You're only going to sell Nether Dragon Scales about once a month. You got to repost it 30 times. Midnight Salmon will sell in a day or 2. So that means on your average server, you can't sell Nether Dragon Scales anymore, which means you can't craft the transmog that you need unless you go and farm it up yourself. Small servers are punished because even your average everyday items like the Midnight Salmon or the Storm Silver Bar or whatever generally take longer to sell on tiny little 100 to 200,000 population servers rather than the 800 to 1 million population servers. Taking longer to sell means more repost, which means the items stop being profitable. Now, if the actual auction house isn't profitable, players are pushed into trade chat, and I like this part of it because, you know, we're all kind of asocial nerds. We need a little push to get out there and get talking to people, but for small servers, there's only 3 people listening in trade chat most of the time, so you're not going to be able, you might be able to sell current content stuff, but you're not going to be able to sell your Corium bars, your Cobra scales, your Nether Dragon scales, your primals. So this change assumes that the only thing up on the auction house is current content. Gold exists as a gating mechanism in World of Warcraft. You need potions and flasks and food and gear in order to raid on a high level to be globally competitive. And this change makes it so a large percentage of the population can't do that anymore. If you can't be competitive, then you stop having fun. And when you stop having fun, like I mentioned with garrisons, you quit the game. We will see thousands and thousands of people stop playing WoW simply because of this change, and I don't want that to happen. All right, so I'll stop getting sentimental. The most interesting thing about this is that it actually does the opposite of what they intend. Because you aren't punished for posting small stacks, you're only punished if something expires. The incentive is actually to just get things to sell. Small stack sizes sell more frequently than large stack sizes. So for experienced gold makers, this change is actually an incentive to post in small stack sizes. What do I mean? Like you're more likely to sell 10 stacks of 1 than you are 1 stack of 200, right? That just makes sense. So what you want to do is just post 10 singles up, and then whenever those get bought out, you immediately repost 10 more. That's what you're trying to do with the new auction house changes if you're an experienced gold maker and you're really trying to optimize things. So I've got a lot more to say about this, but I think this is enough. I think I'll leave this here. If you're new to the channel, we've been growing pretty fast here. I have a background in economics. I've been posting 2,000 to 5,000 auctions every day since Lich King Cataclysm, so that's where I'm coming from, but I want to hear your input. I want to hear what you think about this so we can help Blizzard. And in fact, if anyone from Blizzard is watching, please let us help you. We have the daily experience. There are more people out there farming the Dune Scavenger to sell it than there are Waycrest Manor groups. There's more gold makers out there than people queuing for dungeons. So let us help you. We exist. There are a lot of us. I would love to come to California, help y'all work through the changes, the revamp to the auction house you're doing. Just send me an email, send me a tweet, let me know how I can help, how we can help. We've got 4,000 people in the Discord. Come in and ask your questions. We'd love to participate in this because you're doing this wrong and your decisions suck right now. But probably should have ended on a nicer note. I'm sorry, not sorry. The decision sucks. All right, so that's it. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Like the video if you enjoyed this video. Sorry for getting a little ranty and emotional there. I just y'all have asked for my input on this, and that's what I think. So I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Good luck and happy gold making.